What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Premier League recap for match week 16. As you guys know by now, I split up the Premier League recap into 3 different categories. We start off with the mid-card, and then other smaller results, and then we talk about the main event. So, kicking off in the mid-card, where Chelsea picked up their first win in 5 games over Everton. Cole Palmer opened the scoring in the 21st minute. This was Palmer's only 4th start of the season and 6th appearance so far, as he scored his first Premier League goal since September 13th. With this win, Chelsea are still in 4th place, meanwhile Everton are in 9th. Also in the mid-card, Liverpool continued their momentum from their win in the Champions League last week against Inter Milan as they picked up a 2-0 win over an impressive Brighton squad. Ugo Ekitike scored a brace to give Liverpool all 3 points in this match. He actually scored in the first minute of this game after Joe Gomez headed down a clearance from Brighton and then thumped it into the back of the net. Ekitike also scored off a corner kick in the 60th minute of this game thanks to an assist from Mohamed Salah. Yes, you guys heard that right. Mo Salah did come off the bench for this game and made an appearance. An early injury to Joe Gomez forced him to come off early in this game as Szoboszlai was pushed back to the right back role, making way for Mohamed Salah on the right wing role. And it did pay off for Slot, as Salah did get the assist for Ekitike's second goal, but he now leaves to participate in the African Cup of Nations with Egypt, so we'll see if this was truly his last appearance at Anfield. Liverpool are in 7th and Brighton are in 10th. Moving on, as first place Arsenal required a 94th minute own goal to get the victory over bottom of the table Wolverhampton Wanderers. 0-0 up until the 70th minute, where it looked like Bukayo Saka would score an Olympico goal off of a corner kick, but eventually it was given as an own goal against Wolves goalkeeper Sam Johnston, as it bounced off the post and then bounced off the back of Johnston's head into the back of the net. Later on, Tolu Akudare got a header off of Mateus Mane's cross in the box that did catch David Raya wrong-footed and snuck into the back of the net, as it looked like Wolves were going to draw the game and pick up only their 3rd point of the season. However, only 4 minutes later that goal would be cancelled out as Bukayo Saka's cross came off Mosquera's head and into the back of his own net to give Arsenal all 3 points. What a heartbreaking ending for Wolves. Ironically, Wolves lost this game despite scoring all 3 goals in this match. Both teams remained 1st and 20th, respectively. Moving on, as Man City absolutely thrashed Crystal Palace 3-0. Erling Haaland bagged a brace to bring his goal tally to 17 for the season, and Phil Foden got the other goal to give City all 3 points. City are still in 2nd place, only 2 points off league leaders Arsenal. Meanwhile, Crystal Palace continue their impressive season as they are currently in 5th. Moving on, as another 3-0 result, but this time Nottingham Forest put 3 past Tottenham Hotspurs. Spurs traveled away to the City ground and suffered an absolutely embarrassing result. Callum Hudson-Odoi scored a brace within the first 50 minutes of this game, and Ibrahim Sangare would put the cherry on top as he scored his final goal for Forest before leaving to compete in the African Cup of Nations with the Ivory Coast. And let me tell you, what a send-off goal it was. Absolute banger by Sangare. Despite this win, Forest are still in 16th, just above the relegation zone. Meanwhile, Spurs sit in 11th. Alright, that was it for the mid-card section of this video. Let's now move on to other smaller results before we talk about the main event. Fulham beat Burnley 3-2 away from home. It looked like a close game going into the second half, as the score was 2-1, but then Harry Wilson scored a game-winning goal in the 58th minute. Burnley would pull one back in the 86th minute, but it'll be far little too late for Burnley, as they are still in 19th place, firmly in the drop zone. Meanwhile, Fulham are in 14th. Keep in mind, this was Fulham's last match with their Nigerian trio of Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassey, and Samuel Chukwueze. Nigeria is expected to go far in the African Cup of Nations this time around, so we'll see how Fulham will progress without them. Moving on, as Sunderland beat Newcastle United 1-0 in the Tyne Wear Derby, the first one in the Premier League since 2016. Ironically, Nick Volta might have scored the only goal in this game. However, he would put it in the back of his own net, giving Sunderland all 3 points. Sunderland are in 8th place and Newcastle United are currently in 12th. Moving on, as Aston Villa went away to the London Stadium and got all 3 points in a 5-goal thriller versus West Ham United. Mateus Fernandes scored in the first minute of this game to give West Ham the advantage, but then 8 minutes later, Konstantinos Mavropanos put the ball in his own net trying to defend a header from Ollie Watkins. Then in the 24th minute, Jared Bowen would score his 5th Premier League goal of the season and his 2nd in just as many games to put West Ham United back up 2-1. This would be the last time West Ham would lead in this game, as Morgan Rogers would go on to score a brace, one in the 50th minute and then another in the 79th to give Villa all 3 points. That's now 5 goals goals in the Premier League so far this season for Morgan Rogers. West Ham are still in the relegation zone in 18th, and Aston Villa remain in 3rd. Only 3 points behind league leaders Arsenal. The question's got to be asked, are Aston Villa legitimate title contenders this season? On current form and on the current shaky form that Arsenal does find themselves in, I would say definitely yes, Aston Villa are title contenders as of right now, but a lot of things can change, especially in the winter window. December and January are where Premier League teams typically play every 3 to 4 days, so Villa manager Unai Emery has got to get his squad selection absolutely right. Nevertheless, this is an exciting Aston Villa squad to keep an eye on this season. We'll see if they can remain in the top 3 in the weeks to come. Alright, moving on in the last result of other smaller results, as Brentford and Leeds United shared points in a 1-1 draw. Jordan Henderson opened the scoring for Brentford as he scored his first goal since returning to England, but that goal would be cancelled out by Dominic Calvert-Lewin as he scored his 5th Premier League goal of the season and his 4th in 4 games for Leeds United. What an impressive run of form Dominic Calvert-Lewin is on right now. Brentford is currently in 15th place and Leeds is in 17th, only 3 points ahead of West Ham United in the drop zone. Alright, moving on to the main event this week, as we're going to discuss that thrilling 4-4 draw between Bournemouth and Manchester United. Now this game was played on Monday afternoon, as that seems to be a custom now for Manchester United, and let me tell you, watching this game felt like a movie. Amad Diallo opened the scoring in the 13th minute for Manchester United as he scored probably the easiest goal of his career. After a whole host of chances missed then by Manchester United, Antoine Semenyo would then punish the Red Devils for not finishing their chances as he equalized in the 40th minute. Semenyo, who now has 7 goals and 3 assists so far in the Premier League, another highly underrated player in the Premier League. Casemiro would put Manchester United back up 2-1 off a headed goal from Casemiro. Speaking of underrated players, it has been a nice season for Casemiro, as this is now his 4th goal in the Premier League for United. Moving on to the second half, where it only took 35 seconds for Bournemouth striker Evan Nielsen to equalize for the Red Cherries, as Bournemouth have now come from behind twice in one game. Tavernier would then score a free kick to put the Cherries up for the first time in this game, but not too long after that, Bruno Fernandes said, "Hold my beer" to Tavernier, as he scored an absolute beauty of a free kick himself to equalize for Man United. And then only 2 minutes after that free kick, Cunha would put Manchester United back up top in the 79th minute, and from being 2-1 up to 3-2 down, United were now 4-3 up. But that lead then only lasted 5 minutes, as substitute Krupi would equalize almost immediately after being put on the field, and the game was tied 4-4 in the 84th minute. Bournemouth did have 3 chances later on to try and win the game, but Lemons would stand tall in goal for Man United to hold on to just 1 point. With this thrilling result, Manchester United could have been in a Champions League spot had they won this game, but now thanks to this draw, they are in 6th place, only 2 points behind Chelsea in 4th. And Bournemouth, who were in the top 6 not too long ago, are currently in 13th. And that was match week 16 in the Premier League. A lot of entertaining games, a lot of questions to be asked of certain teams going into the congested winter schedule. It's that time of year where teams are currently playing every 3 to 4 days, so buckle up as we're definitely in for a fun ride. As always guys, thank you for coming back to my channel and checking out the Premier League recap. Hope to see you next week to recap match week 17. As always, take care and God bless.